Hey guys, Coach Becca here, and welcome to the first holiday series workout. We'll be doing body weight only exercises today, and we'll start with a warm-up. Begin by reaching down towards your toes and then up towards the ceiling while you focus on your breath. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, reach up. Let's just energize our body here. We're gonna do 5 total. As always, I'll do the entire session with you. And for the most part today, you'll be doing 30-second intervals, and you'll always repeat the main set exercises. So hopefully you learned something new today, and you get to practice it a few times. Single leg calf raises next, and we'll do 12 per side here in the warm-up. Just run 1 round of warm-up exercises, all designed to activate, prepare your breath, work on stability and mobility. We'll do some activation too. Let's switch sides here. And we're really just focusing on balance, first of all, but also ankle mobility, ankle extension specifically. Of course, the leg you'll be balancing on, you're focusing on ankle, knee, and hip stability while training ankle mobility. Always 2 for 1 here with the Kawokas. All right, up next we'll do alternating hamstring kicks. So I'm just gonna raise one leg up at a time and reach across my body there. So we'll get a little bit of cross body work, warming up our hamstrings, warming up our core a little bit as well. And don't worry about how high you're kicking your leg there. Everyone's gonna reach a little differently. So do what works for you today. Overhead squats are next. Feet can go just outside the shoulders, arms overhead in a Y position. Inhale as you lower down, dropping your hips ideally at or below your knees. Exhale as you stand. Here we're really looking to have good posture. So notice here, I'm not necessarily concerned about a very, very deep squat or even a heavy squat. I'm thinking about my posture, my range of motion, and my breathing pattern. Looking good so far out there, guys. We're gonna get you prepared and in shape for the holidays this year, especially under the restrictions of COVID-19. So we're excited to encourage you today. All right, take a knee. Either knee first is fine. Make a fist with your hand. And what you're doing here is basically controlling your shoulder joint, raising your arm up, rotating it back, lowering down, and then reversing that pattern. I'll show you a different angle here so you can see how that shoulder mobility looks. Up, close as you can, keeping that fist really close to your body to work shoulder mobility and shoulder control. CAR stands for controlled articular rotation. So a great injury prevention move here in the shoulder joint. Really stretch it out. You might try doing this against a wall if you'd like for an extra push there. Those are really tough. I like doing them that way too. So here you'll just notice I'm going to reach up, rotate my hand back, raise it up, rotate, reach back. Now the shoulder and hip joints, they're ball and socket joints. So a lot of movements and a lot of muscles go through those joints, and we've got to make sure we take really good care of them with mobility and stability exercises, much like this one. You couldn't do too much mobility or stability if you ask me. I try to do it 6 times a week, sometimes 7 or 8. I just love workouts like this, 20 to 30 minutes, and they make my body feel good. All right, cat-cow breathing next. Inhale and arch your back. Exhale through your mouth and tilt the tailbone up. Some people struggle with this one, so if you're somebody that feels awkward doing this, I'll speak directly to you. Try to keep your arms in one spot. The movement isn't in your elbows, it's in your spine, in the middle and lower back. So try not to do this movement with your arms. The other piece of advice I'd give you is that it's okay that your movement starts out very small. You might not have a lot of spine mobility. You might have poor posture right now. That's okay. This movement will help you. So be patient as you kind of unkink the knots there in your spine. Well done on your warm-up. That cat-cow is a favorite of mine. On the main set, like I mentioned before, you'll do every exercise for 30 seconds. There's going to be modifications for all levels, so don't be afraid to hit pause if you need to. All right, trunk squat, hold first. Cross the arms at the shoulders and lower down into a squat and hold. Now, you'll notice that I'm not in, I'll show you here from the side, I'm not in an extremely deep squat, but I have good posture. And that's one thing that I want to focus on the trunk squat. If you need to do these against a wall, if you feel like your butt's really high up in the air, you can do these on a wall if you'd like. But really focus on a nice strong core and having great posture, stacking your joints in the lower body, and working endurance here. This is all endurance in the quads and glutes. Well done. Up next, side lunges. So you'll step to the side and then the other side. I gotta work around my Christmas tree here. So if you're in a small space like me, I'm just out here trying to relate. So we're just choosing a small spot to stay, and I won't leave this area. So even if you're in a little 1-bedroom or studio apartment quarantining, I'll help you out. Make sure you keep the inside leg straight. You're just pushing off the outside leg there. Squatting on the outside, stretching on the inside. Just a smooth breathing pattern here as you work the legs and the lateral plane of movement. Feel the quads and the adductors or the inner thighs. All right, next up, level 1, you'll just march and pull up the opposite arm and opposite knee. So right arm up, left knee up. Level 2, I want you to focus on high knees where you pull your heel to your butt. That's gonna work your hamstrings, and if you're out there and you're a runner, this is a great cross-training drill for you to try. Focus on an excellent arm swing and pulling the heel to your butt. These are our first 3 exercises today, and we're all targeting the lower body here. Great job. All right, round 2, you'll notice our rest is very low. We're gonna get a lot done in 25 minutes. Take a deep breath, lower down and hold. And again, the big focus here, what I showed you in round 1 with that side angle is, sometimes people think that we, getting really low is the focus, and oftentimes, yes, range of motion is. But some people, when in good intention, stick their butt way out and drop their chest so their shoulders are almost parallel to their hips. And that can just be a stressful position to hold. And we want to make sure we're working the right muscles here by having good posture. We're holding that trunk position, and we're working our quads and glutes for endurance. So well done on that. We'll move on from here. Alternating side lunges. You've done these before now. So after doing that endurance isometric exercise, the squat hold or the wall sit, you'll get to do a little bit of body weight strength training. And this one's just great. If you have a weight and you want to add it in, I could have mentioned that in the first round, but in case you do this workout again, you could add weight to these if you'd like. Today is all body weight, but if you'd like to add weight into some things, this is a good one that you could do that with. You've got to make it your own, and I think you'll enjoy it more if you do. Very good on your side lunges. Up next, marching in place or high knees. And here's a great time to focus on, in both versions, going eye socket to hip pocket. Get the coordination down. One of my old coaches told me puppet on strings. So as you raise your right arm, your left knee comes up like a puppet. You also want to work on getting that heel to your butt in both versions. So that's something both the high and the low impact exercises share. We'll be moving on after this, so try to get the heart rate up a little bit. Well done. All right, exercise 1 of our next circuit. We're gonna do glute bridges with our toes up. That's just a fun variety that works different muscles in your legs. Toes up, heels down. You'll drive your hips as you exhale, inhale as you lower down. Now, some people really push that you want to have a flat foot while you're doing bridge ups, and that might be true for the workout at hand there. But today, I want to strengthen some different muscles in the front part of your legs, your lower legs, and don't stress about it too much if it feels awkward. You can surely do this with flat feet, but I'd love for you to try it, this fun variety that I feel has made me stronger. So there you go on the glute bridges, toes up. Next, we're going to do a single leg bridge hold for 30 seconds per side. So now we are going to flatten the foot completely, line up that toe with your knee, and just lift your hips completely off the floor while you breathe evenly. Similar to the last series, I want to introduce an isometric or an exercise where you hold and work endurance, an exercise with a 2-2 count where you work on strength. We'll switch sides here. And then a challenge exercise or coordination exercise. Last round it was high knees, and I'm excited to show you in this round what that'll be. So I always break each workout I design into different segments and focuses. And this one's focus is endurance in your glutes and hamstrings, so the back half of your body. looking strong out there. These really add up. These exercises where you just hold a position, that's challenging, so it's okay if you felt tired there. All right, and up next, we're gonna do either a single leg reach, alternating legs, that's level 1. Just switch sides every time. Hinge at your hips, soft knee. Level 2, you're gonna take that into a single leg hop and then go right to the other leg. Hop, switch sides. Reach, hop, switch sides. All right, so you can make your choice here. You're either working on alternating legs, working balance and strength and stability, specifically in the hips, knees, and ankles, hamstrings and glutes. Or if you're doing this version with me, it works a little bit of power and explosiveness, specifically in the lower body. All around, it'll work your balance though. That's something both versions share. And this is kind of our heart rate exercise, or our challenge exercise of the sequence. While the first set worked quads and glutes, the second set, this set, works hamstrings and glutes. So let's do round 2 of all those exercises. Now that you've got a good idea of what's going on, we're gonna do glute bridges first. That's when we're gonna go up and down, even with our breathing pattern. This is what the exercise looks like with flat feet. However, I want you to try this version where you lift your toes and dig your heels into the ground. Avoid letting your toes peek outwards or inwards here. Try to keep your toes relatively in line with your knees. For those of you that are runners, sometimes I think I tend to mimic how I plant my foot when I'm doing this exercise, so I try to keep it neutral so I don't pronate or supinate as aggressively when I run. Just little things I think help translate. Those are my opinions though. So do what works for you there. All right, single leg bridge, hold. Press one leg straight up towards the ceiling and then drive your hips, really firing and squeezing your core, your midsection. That's gonna help, in some terms, think about keeping your hips flat. Your core is what helps you keep your hips neutral. You're also working endurance in your hamstrings, which are the back of your legs, and your glutes. So it's a really nice exercise for a lot of reasons. The stability, the core, the glutes, the hamstrings. Switch sides here. And if you've done my workouts before, first of all, thanks for continuously tuning in. But also you'll know that I like to work the front half and the back half fairly equally, if not sometimes the back side more, because I feel like that's what pulls us out of our poor posture positions and, you know, helps correct some of those over imbalances or those incorrections in the front half, like our hips and chest muscles. So I like to keep it balanced and really focus on strengthening everything equally. Well done on the glute bridge hold. Let's go ahead and stand and try our challenge exercise here. We're gonna do single leg reaches, just alternating legs for level 1. Level 2, you'll take that up into a hop before switching sides, right into the other side. After you pull the knee up from the hop, place it directly on the floor and begin your work on that side. Both versions, when you reach down, think about almost like if there was a yardstick attached from your heel up to your hip. You know, if your posture and your core engagement and your balance is strong, that yardstick won't break in half. So try to, in other words, keep a smooth line, if possible, from your hip joint to your ankle joint, even from your shoulders to your hips if you can, to minimize any excess stress on the low back. Either version, low impact or high impact, that's a great one that you could do often for great results. One of my favorites. All right, here's our third series, guys. We're coming to a close here. We've got a few minutes left. You can do a kneeling plank that I just demonstrated, or a full plank. If you'd like to really push it for 30 seconds, short interval, you can do a forearm plank with alternating heel lifts. Try to keep the hips flat, in line with the shoulders if you're doing this version. Really make your hamstrings and butt do the work. A little core endurance here. This is our isometric or holding exercise of the series, in the trunk specifically, core endurance. Next, we've got our alternating dead bug. So flip over onto your back, stack your knees directly over your hips, keeping your knees at a 90-degree angle, and then lower your right arm overhead as you straighten your right leg out. So you're lowering your leg down at the same time as you're lowering your arm overhead. Your feet and your hands go opposite directions. Switch sides every time. If you've never done a dead bug before, I'll encourage you to pause it here and try getting the coordination down a few times before moving on. Don't feel like you have to rush to keep up with me here. That exercise definitely gets smoothed out the more you practice. Very good. Next is our challenge exercise. Level 1, you're going to do a single leg pike or a single leg V-up, arms overhead as you reach up towards one leg and then the other. Level 2 is going to be more of a power exercise. You're going to power up into V-ups. All right, guys, we're going for 30 seconds, level 1 or level 2. You can do it with one leg, alternating sides, or with both legs. But try to exhale as you reach up, inhale as you come down. If you feel like your neck is getting stressed, you can choose not to lift your shoulder blades off the floor, or you can try tucking your chin down a little bit. Sometimes just that thinking of moving the neck a little bit can help. But do what works for you. Try not to lift it if it feels like it's putting any unwanted stress in the neck. Good job. That's a very hard series, so hang in there. Let's go back to plank with alternating heel lifts, or just the regular plank hold, or a kneeling plank. You've got a lot of options here. 30 seconds total. This is the stamina one, the one that's going to focus on endurance. We've incorporated a endurance, strength, and challenge exercise in each sequence today. Remember that we'll do everything twice, and this is our second round of the plank, kneeling or full, or with hip extension. Try to keep those hips flat and breathe. Well done. Up next, we've got the alternating dead bug. So you'll lay on your back, knees at 90 degrees, and let's just build some strength, stamina, and coordination in our core. This is one of my favorite core exercises. It's a very functional and great exercise for all levels. If you've done these before, you could try adding a physio ball in here, holding it between the knee and the elbow. But all around, this is just an exercise that a beginning exerciser and an advanced athlete, they should be doing this exercise in some capacity. It's a great exercise. Well done. All right, up next we're going to have either the pike or the V-up. A pike is one leg at a time. Lift the shoulders towards one leg at a time, arms overhead. The V-up's both legs at a time. Try to lift your shoulders as much as you can. You can see I'm getting a little bit more involved than my first round. Maybe I was being a bit of a slacker there in my first demonstration. Exhale as you lift up. Again, you're really developing a little bit of power in the core with this variation. It's definitely a hard exercise. I've done a set of these or two in my day. I know how hard they are. Choose level 1 if you feel anything in your lower back. Almost done. Keep pushing. And finish. Well done. That one's tiring. And here we've reached our final circuit, guys. Our final 3 exercises, and you'll need a chair for this one. So grab a chair. If you've got a couch, you could use the edge of the couch there, or a solid dining room table. I'm just going to use one of my dining room table chairs here. And we're going to start it off with tricep dips. This one just is working the backside of our arms, the bat wings, some of us know it. The hands go right outside the hips, and then the elbows go straight back. Lower down, keeping your shoulders over your hips, or rather your hips under your shoulders. And push your elbows straight back. Now this exercise, if you have a shoulder injury, this might be a little bit uncomfortable for you. You might choose instead to do a weighted tricep extension, or if you really want to be safe, you could just choose a shoulder exercise, rehab drill, or your choice core exercise instead. Well done on tricep dips. Kneeling or full hand release push-ups. You're going to lower all the way to the ground, reach your arms out before bringing your hands back underneath and pushing. The idea is to really engage your core and avoid lifting your hips before pushing up strong. Here's the full version. You can jump in right here, kneeling or full. The goal again is core engagement. So if you feel like you're doing the inchworm move, you're not doing these correctly. You want to engage your core, not cheat by lifting your hips up first. If you have a shoulder injury and you're not supposed to do push-ups, you may substitute your favorite core exercise or shoulder rehabilitation exercise here instead, or perhaps just a dumbbell chest press would be more appropriate. Well done. Level 1, you're just doing a half kneeling body weight overhead press. Focus on squeezing the hands overhead and working directly, pushing overhead. Level 2, your challenge item is a shoulder press push-up. You can do these on a wall if this version feels too easy in a handstand. You're just in a nice downward dog stretch, and you're lowering your head down between your hands. We're doing 30 seconds here. Should be about 10 repetitions by the time you get into position. You're really targeting the tops of your arms here, your shoulders. Again, if you'd like to make this harder, try it in a handstand assisted on the wall. Or have somebody hold your feet. Good job, and that's how we work our shoulders body weight. All right, round 2, here we go, tricep dips. Unless you've got a shoulder injury. Elbows go straight back. Here we go. Shooting for a 90-degree angle in the elbows. Inhale down, exhale up. Build strength in the back of the arms. If you've got a shoulder injury, you might choose to do a shoulder rehab exercise or a dumbbell tricep overhead extension instead. Or just a simple glute bridge or your favorite core exercise. Same thing if you've got a shoulder injury for push-ups, and you should choose the same option instead here, shoulder rehab or core. Otherwise, you're doing hand release style push-ups. Kneeling version here, so if you're just getting into push-ups, you're brand new to push-ups, I recommend starting there. That really teaches you, this hand release style, how to engage your core as the base of your push-up. If you can push off the ground strong with a rigid core here, without any inchworming, you'll know you'll do some strong, regular push-ups. So for me, it's a great way to start if you're brand new. Again, really focus on squeezing your core, exhaling as you push up. No inchworms out there. Well done, you guys. Now, again, here's an exercise you might try doing instead of tricep dips or shoulder presses or this challenge set. You can do arm circles or that body weight shoulder press I did in round 1. Or get into a strong down dog pose where you can really reach your head between your hands, working your shoulders. You can walk your hands closer to your feet or farther away from your feet, but generally closer to your feet is better. You'll get more of a steep angle to work your shoulders, the tops of your arms here. Your shoulders are what we're targeting. You can try this on a wall in a handstand position or have a good trusted friend hold your feet for a really hard push. Well done, you guys. You've done a great job doing endurance, strength, and a challenge exercise for 4 different rounds, 3 exercises per round, 2 rounds of each round. Ugh, lots of words. Let's just stretch here in child's pose and give those lats a good breather. Get your breathing back under control. Come on forward into upward dog. So that just means slide the hands forward, drop the hips down, and pull the shoulders away from your ears. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. It's time just to take care of all those muscles we worked really hard. And this one in particular stretches your hips, and I love that. Curl the toes underneath or simply walk back into a forward bend. Let's just take some time stretching out our lower back and our hamstrings. It's okay if you can't reach all the way to the floor. You'll get there eventually. Baby steps. That's why I've designed this series. It's great for anyone that's just getting started with working out or really just needs something quick, functional, and effective to get them through the busy holidays. I'll keep providing these weekly holiday workouts 1 time per week, and they'll all be 30 minutes or less. Today we got it done in just 25 minutes. Grab an ankle and stretch it out. The great thing about it too is you really don't need any equipment, and even if you have equipment, sometimes it's good to get just back to the basics and worry about how to work our own body in space as resistance. Switch sides on your quad stretch. If you need to hold onto the chair there for balance, you can. You can also just prop one foot up, that back foot up on the wall for a good stretch if you can't quite reach your ankle yet. All right, this next one's one of my favorites. I like to just end with a little lateral stretch, a little hip opener. You're just swinging your one leg in front of you, opening it up as much as you can across and then outside of your body. You can use the chair for support, or you could do these up against a wall. Switch sides, and again, really focus on getting as much mobility as you can on each side. Like I said, I'm trying to work in a small space, so if you're somebody that's working in a small space like me, I hope this is a relatable and effective workout for you. I did everything here in a pretty small yardage box, so hopefully that's helpful to some of you that have been in a space and time restraints. Alright guys, that's it for me today. Well done. I hope to see you again next week for our holiday series workout number 2. Like I said, we'll do this weekly through the holidays. Be sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date on these new workouts. You'll get a little notification letting you know another free workout's been posted. Or visit www.kawoka-coaching.com to see some of my favorite recipes, my free wellness blog, and more. Wishing you a happy holiday and see you again soon. Thanks again for joining.